I'm a famous A-list actor, known for being cool and distant. Took Charles 3 years to win me over. Everyone said the great Charles, heir to a massive fortune, had finally fallen for a guy. Until our anniversary, when I heard someone ask him what it was like to be with me. Charles took a drag from his cigarette, blowing out a slow, lazy ring of smoke. Kissing a guy is kinda disgusting. When I got to the bar, the booth was packed with Charles's friends. They must have been talking about something before I arrived, because they were all roaring with laughter. When I finally spotted him in the crowd, Charles had his arm wrapped around a beautiful woman. I narrowed my eyes, a cold smile on my face as I started to walk over. Then I heard someone shout, "Ash, how'd you ever manage to land an ice king like Lewis?" The bar was dim, and I pulled back the foot I had just put forward. Stopping a few feet away from Charles, I heard him let out a low chuckle, not answering. The person who asked pressed him again. "Don't hold out on us. Teach us your ways, man." Someone else chimed in, "It's that face, man. Charles's got a face that works on everyone. You can't learn that." I have to admit, the fact that Charles and I got together had a lot to do with his ridiculously perfect face. His friend, not giving up, leaned in closer and asked him, "So, Ash, what's it really like dating Lewis?" The question silenced the group. Everyone looked at Charles, waiting for his answer. Even I, the subject of the question, was curious to hear what he'd say. Charles pursued me for a year before I agreed to give him a shot. Today was our first anniversary. When I left the house this morning, he told me he had a surprise for me. Charles was a master of romance, always springing little surprises on me, so I was genuinely excited to see what this big surprise was. I waited for him at home all night, but he never showed. It wasn't until I saw a picture and location tag on a friend's social media that I knew he was at a bar. Even though I was annoyed, I still drove over to pick him up. "Come on, Ash, tell us. What's it like dating a guy?" Charles let go of the woman he'd been holding, lit a cigarette, and casually blew out a puff of smoke. "What's there to feel?" He paused. "Kissing a guy is honestly pretty disgusting." Another wave of jeers erupted from the group. "Looks like our boy Charles really sacrificed for the win this time." That's when the bottle flew.
Charles reacted fast.
The bottle grazed his forehead before shattering on the ground behind him with a sharp crack. Everyone went dead silent, all eyes turning to me. Charles's did too. As the heir to the He family fortune, Charles was used to getting his way in this city. No one ever dared to cross him. So, the moment the bottle shattered, Charles's face darkened. He looked up, his expression furious, but it flickered with shock and panic when he saw me. He pushed the woman away and shot to his feet. The lighting was too dim, so the woman next to him probably didn't get a good look at me. She yelled, "Are you crazy? Throwing bottles at people?" But in the next second, someone clamped a hand over her mouth and dragged her aside. Charles and I stood there, staring at each other, neither of us moving. His friend, recognizing me, glanced between us and tried to smooth things over. "Lewis, hey Lewis, what are you doing here?" I adjusted my glasses and sneered. "Just came to watch your boy Charles put on his little show." The color drained from everyone's faces. People who know me say I only look cold, that I'm actually a really gentle, good-tempered person. But right now, I couldn't care less about appearances. I wanted nothing more than to storm over there, grab Charles by the collar, and punch him in the face in front of everyone. I took several deep breaths to calm the storm raging inside me, walked over to the table, grabbed a few napkins, and wiped the liquor off my hand. "You guys carry on." Then I turned and walked out without a backward glance. "Lewis." I didn't turn around until Charles grabbed my arm in the parking garage. "Lewis, let me explain." The calm I'd found was instantly shattered the moment he touched me. I spun around and punched him square in the face. Charles, caught completely off guard, stumbled back a few steps before steadying himself. Just as I had imagined in the bar, I rushed forward, grabbed him by the collar, and slammed him against the wall. "Explain what? Explain how you fucking played me?" "Charles, what's with the tough guy act in front of them? If you're so disgusted, why were you always all over me like a damn pig in heat?" When he raised his hand, I thought he was going to hit back, but he just adjusted my glasses. I thought you didn't like wearing frames. Are your eyes bothering you today? I slapped his hand away from my face. Cut the fucking bullshit. Charles, was this your big surprise? Making me watch you hold another woman while you talk about how disgusting it is to kiss me? Charles didn't get angry. Instead, a slight smile played on his lips. He moved his hand to the small of my back and pulled me closer. I was just joking. I won't say it again, okay? He'd used this tone to soothe me before, and our little spats were usually just part of the relationship. He'd offer a way out and I'd take it. But this time was different. Charles's attitude was like gasoline on a fire. I let go of his collar and threw another punch at the other side of his face. Unfortunately, he caught this one. Louis, don't push it. A rich kid like Charles didn't have endless patience. He frowned, a hint of irritation in his eyes. I already apologized. What more do you want? I just laughed coldly, saying nothing. Seeing I was about to go at him again, Charles tightened his grip, trying to restrain me. I was already seething, and the moment he moved, we started throwing punches. There were cameras in the parking garage, and it took the security guards a lot of effort to pull us apart. His face and body were pretty banged up. Wiping the blood from his face, Charles roared at me, "Are you fucking crazy?" I didn't give him another glance. I shook off the guard's hand and picked up my phone, which had fallen on the ground. Charles, we're done. As I drove away, Charles ran out to block my car. What do you mean, we're done? Fucking explain yourself. I rolled up the window, stepped on the gas, and his voice disappeared. The scene in the bar flashed through my mind over and over. I drove until I found an empty road, pulled over, and let out a low roar, my hands gripping the steering wheel. At the peak of my career, I risked my reputation to be with him. For someone in the entertainment industry, it was a high-stakes gamble. I went all in the day I fell for Charles, betting my entire life on it. I bet that our relationship wouldn't be exposed before I retired. I bet that Louis, wasn't a fool who had misjudged him. I bet that we could have a happy ending. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. When I opened it, I realized I'd picked up the wrong one in the parking garage. This was Charles's. New messages kept popping up on the screen. At first, I didn't want to pry into his privacy, but then I saw my own name, Louis. Ash, what's going on with you and Louis? Did you break up or what? Say something. Dude, don't be upset. It was just a bet. Don't get yourself played. A bet? I opened the chat history and scrolled up. The car was silent. So quiet I could almost hear my own heart pounding in my chest. The hand holding the phone trembled so much I could barely read the disgusting, vile things they were saying about me. It wasn't until a tear dripped onto the screen that I snapped, throwing the phone away like it was on fire. Charles's supposed love for me was just a bet between friends. Whoever could sleep with me would win $10 million. $10 million. So that's what I was worth. Thinking about the video he sent to the group chat, I scrambled to pick the phone back up. The video was sent last night. It was too late to unsend it. I forced myself to calm down and started thinking about how to handle this. If that video got out, my career would be over. That's when a call from my phone came through. It was Charles. Hello, Louis. I gripped his phone, saying nothing. You grabbed the wrong phone, Louis. Charles's voice was cautious, and if I hadn't seen those messages, I might have thought he was trying to placate me. But now I knew the truth. He was just feeling guilty. Where are you? I'll come get the phone. I tightened my grip on the steering wheel, trying to stop my body and my voice from shaking. It's just a phone. Do I really need to trouble you to come all this way, mister? Charles went silent. You're the guy who'd toss a $100,000 watch without a second thought. Why are you so worried about a $1,000 phone? Is there something on it you don't want people to see? When he was chasing me, he gave me an expensive watch. When I said I didn't want it, he threw it into the sea. If you don't want it, I'll just throw it away, he'd said. A guy like him, born at the top, looked down on anything money could buy. The other end of the line was still silent. His silence only fueled my anger. Charles, did the He family go bankrupt? Are you that desperate for cash? If you need money, you should have just asked me. You think I can't afford $10 million? Charles finally responded, "Don't worry, I'll take care of the video. It won't get out." The moment he finished, I hung up, got out of the car, and smashed the phone on the ground until it was in pieces. Terrified the video would leak, I didn't sleep well for weeks, constantly searching my own name online. This life of fear and anxiety lasted for a month. I had just managed to fall asleep when my agent called. I answered immediately, "Jess, what's wrong?" At the same time, I opened the laptop on my bed and started searching my name. But thank God, Jess was just calling to invite me to a dinner party. There was no negative news about me online. Just as I was about to close the browser, I saw Charles's name. #CharlesHeEngaged hashtag. The hashtag shot to the top of the trending list as soon as it appeared. I couldn't resist clicking on it. News of Charles's engagement to the daughter of some well-known corporation was all over the internet. It seemed like the whole world knew. The only one in the dark was me, his ex-boyfriend of 1 month. Jess had said it was a dinner party, but the address she sent was a bar. The company wanted to collaborate with the A-lister Justin. He had agreed to talk, but specifically requested that I be there. "Why me?" Jess let out a suggestive laugh over the phone. "I'm not sure. Maybe he's a fan of yours? The top celebrity Justin, a fan of mine?" I looked at his profile online and shook my head. He looked like the type to have a lot of girlfriends, not my fan. But after meeting him, I thought maybe I shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Justin was even better looking in person, with a kind of androgynous beauty. When I first saw him, I froze for a second. He felt strangely familiar, but after staring at his beautiful face for a long time, I was sure I'd never met him before. He was incredibly sweet, a very shy guy. When beautiful women came over to hit on him, he would blush and politely turn them down. Everything was going smoothly between us until a bottle came flying out of nowhere. I immediately pulled Justin close to me. "Are you okay?" Justin was so close now that I could see his thick, curly eyelashes. "I'm fine, thanks, Lewis." When I looked up, I saw Charles standing in front of me, his face grim. His eyes were fixed on Justin, who was pressed up against me. His gaze was fierce, and his voice was cold. "Get lost." I don't know if I was imagining it, but I thought I saw a flicker of a playful smile on Justin's face. The next second, he pressed even closer, almost clinging to me. "Lewis, he's so scary." The commotion had drawn the attention of a lot of people in the bar. Charles could afford the embarrassment, but I couldn't. I smiled apologetically at Justin. "Can we talk somewhere else?" Justin was very easygoing. He glanced at Charles's dark face and smiled at me. "Sure." I stood up to leave. As I passed Charles, he grabbed my wrist. "Where are you taking him?" "Huh? I call you, I message you every day, and you block me. I go to your house and you don't open the door. And the one time I finally see you, I have to watch you getting cozy with another man. Lewis, don't you think you owe me an explanation?" His eyes were sharp, like he wanted to eat me alive. I tried to shake him off, but Charles wouldn't let go. "Charles, don't make me cause a scene in public. Let go." He still didn't move. I was about to get physical when Justin suddenly stepped between us. "Mister." What's all this about?" Justin gestured with his chin towards a booth not far away. "Your fiancé is watching, you know." I followed his gaze and immediately recognized the stunningly beautiful woman in the crowd. She looked exactly like her pictures online and was looking our way with a confused expression. "Aren't you afraid your fiancé will get the wrong idea holding on to Lewis like this?" Charles's face was grim. "This is between me and Lewis. What's it to you?" "Justin, am I being too nice to you?" Facing the furious Charles, Justin just shrugged, completely unbothered. He turned to me with an innocent expression. "Lewis, what should I do? He won't let you leave. How about I help you?" He winked at me. At the same time, Charles let out a sudden grunt. Before I could figure out what happened, Charles let go of me and threw a punch at Justin. The surrounding customers scrambled to get out of the way. The punch wasn't that fast. I thought he could have dodged it, but it landed squarely on him. The force sent him stumbling back a few steps. He hit a sofa and fell to the floor. Seeing Charles about to lunge at him again, I quickly stepped in. "What the fuck is wrong with you? This has nothing to do with him. If you want to fight someone, fight me. Charles stopped. His eyes filled with a complex emotion as he looked at me. But I couldn't be bothered with him. I turned and walked over to Justin on the floor. Are you okay? Justin looked at me pitifully and held out his arm, which had been cut by the broken bottle. Louis, it hurts. The wound was covered in blood, making it hard to see the extent of the damage. I didn't dare do anything rash, so I just helped him up, ready to take him to the hospital. Charles tried to stop me again. I shot him a cold look and said in a low voice, "Get lost." Justin leaned his body against me and whispered, "Louis, I don't think Mr. He meant to hurt me. Don't be angry." Charles must have heard that because he smashed a nearby table. "Justin, are you fucking insane?" I supported Justin and walked out without stopping. "Louis, I think he's the one who's insane. He has rabies. You should stay far away from him in the future." The caregiver called to tell me that my sister, Lily, hadn't been doing well these past few days. She's not eating much and keeps asking when you're coming to see her. So much had happened recently that I had indeed neglected her. The moment I walked into the hospital room, Lily threw herself into my arms. "Brother, I thought you were going to leave me too, just like Mom." Lily had been abandoned by her own mother, which made her very sensitive. "Of course not. I've just been really busy. Can you forgive me, Lily?" I gently wiped away her tears. "Will you forgive your big brother?" Lily nodded obediently. After speaking with the doctor about Lily's recent condition, I was heading back to her room when someone grabbed my arm. "Louis." I turned around. It was Justin. "What's up? I called your name a few times, but you didn't seem to hear me." I gave him an embarrassed smile. "Sorry. What are you doing at the hospital? Are you not feeling well?" Justin held up his arm, which was wrapped up like a mummy. "Came to get my dressing changed." I felt a little strange about it, but didn't press him. "Brother," Lily called out from the room when she saw me return. She looked at Justin curiously, then looked up at me and asked, "Brother, is this your new boyfriend?" I quickly bent down and covered her mouth. "This is my sister," I explained to Justin. "She's just a kid. She doesn't know what she's saying." But Justin didn't seem to mind at all. Like magic, he pulled a small bunny toy out of his pocket. "Your sister is so sweet." He was the kind of person who was great with kids. In just a few words, he had Lily completely charmed. "Sing me a song, brother." I thought she was talking to me, but when I walked over, I realized she was asking Justin. Lily was actually a very introverted child. Besides me, she rarely got this close to anyone. I suddenly remembered the first time I saw her. I was still in college. After she was diagnosed, her mother left her outside my rental apartment. Lily and I both take after our mother, so the first time she saw me, she timidly called me brother. She was so young then, only 8 years old, but she already understood that she had been abandoned. My dad died in a car accident when I was very young, and after my mom got the settlement money, she left me at the gates of an orphanage. "Louis, wait here for Mommy. Mommy will be right back." I already knew the characters for orphanage back then. The moment she turned and left, I knew she wasn't coming back. But I refused to admit I'd been abandoned, so I just kept waiting for her. Daddy went to heaven, and Mommy said she has things to do, so I have to live with my brother for a while. Lily, saying those words, probably felt the same way I did back then. Lily was already asleep. Justin and I were sitting on the small balcony of her room, chatting quietly. The door was pushed open from the outside. We both turned to look. Charles stood there, his face cold. "What is he doing here?" The noise startled Lily awake. She looked at me, then at Charles by the door. Justin had already gone over to comfort her. I walked to the door and pointed outside. "Get out. Louis, you tell me what he's doing here. Are you two together now?" His eyes were red, his face a mask of hurt and disbelief. "Tell me, are you with him now?" "It's none of your business." I said, "Get out." I didn't expect him to suddenly get violent. He slammed me against the wall. "Louis, you fucking dare to be with someone else? You just try it." Charles was strong. Even with one arm in a cast, I was no match for him. So I kicked him where it counts. As he doubled over, I grabbed his hair and punched him. I've always believed violence doesn't solve anything, but for a simpleton like you, a fist is more effective than anything else. The loud crash attracted doctors and nurses, who pulled me away. Justin also came to stop me. He shot Charles a smug smile. Louis, don't get into a fight with him over me. Since I was the one attacking Charles, everyone was holding me back, and no one was paying attention to him. With only one good hand, Charles gave Justin a shove. I thought they were about to fight, but Justin just fell dramatically into my arms. Louis, he pushed me. Not just me, but everyone around us, including Charles, was stunned. Justin was 6'3", half a head taller than me. Logically, he shouldn't be so fragile and easy to push over. Charles was the first to react. His eyes burned with fury, as if he wanted to tear Justin to shreds. You slimy bastard. Have you no shame? Just as he was about to lunge at Justin, the security guards finally arrived. After I explained the situation, Charles was dragged out of the hospital by 3 or 4 guards. Once everyone had left, the room was quiet again. I looked at Justin, wanting to ask something. You? Justin blinked and raised his arm in front of me. I'm injured, you know. It's normal that I can't fight him. Lily stared at Justin for a long time, then asked me, brother, why is Big Brother Justin acting like the bad woman on TV? I quickly covered her mouth. Lily, you need to watch less TV. Lily was very excited today, so it was already past 10 by the time I got her to sleep. Justin and I left the hospital. Thanks for your help today. Just as I finished speaking, a blindingly bright light shone on us. A black Maybach was speeding towards Justin. Without thinking, I pushed him out of the way. The Maybach swerved sharply just before hitting me, its body scraping past my feet and crashing into a tree on the side of the road. I rushed over and pulled the car door open. Thankfully, Charles, who was in the driver's seat, wasn't seriously hurt. I dragged him out of the car, grabbing his collar. Are you fucking insane? Charles had a cut on his head, and his face was covered in bright red blood, making his already red eyes look even crazier. He looked at me, a smile still on his lips. Yeah, I am insane. If you dare to be with him, I will kill him. I felt like we were done, so I hadn't bothered to explain anything. But Charles was a maniac, and I was afraid he would actually hurt Justin. Before I could finish, Justin was standing behind me. He cut me off. Louis, should we call the police? I stood up, looking down at Charles. He looked up at me. Louis, are you going to call the police? I didn't answer, just took out my phone and walked to the side. As the police led Charles away, he yelled at me. I waited for you outside all night. Louis, is this how you fucking treat me? Lately, I'd been intentionally turning down a lot of gigs and started planning a move into behind-the-scenes work. The video incident was still a ticking time bomb. Even though Charles said he'd handle it, I didn't trust him anymore. I didn't want to attend tonight's event initially, but an investment banker I'd been wanting to meet was going to be there. Everything was going well. I even managed to strike up a conversation with the banker. When I came out of the restroom, I sensed that people were looking at me strangely. Louis, my boy, after the event, why don't we find another place to continue our chat? The fact that the banker wanted to talk more meant I had a shot, so I nodded eagerly. But the next second, his hand landed on my thigh and gave it a squeeze. The way he looked at me changed, too. He leaned in, whispering in my ear, Louis, just name your price. After so many years in the entertainment industry, I knew exactly what that meant. I just didn't understand why things had suddenly taken this turn. Mr. Lee, I think you've misunderstood something. The banker gave me a meaningful look, opened his phone, and held it in front of me. On the screen was a video of me. Although it only showed my upper body, my expression, posture, and the sounds were all incredibly suggestive. I always thought Louis was so cold and aloof. Who knew you had such a different side in bed? In an instant, I understood why everyone was looking at me that way. My head roared, and the sounds around me seemed to fade away. I glanced around, feeling like I was in a silent black and white movie. Charles appeared out of nowhere, shoving the banker to the ground. He grabbed him by the neck, pinning him down. I could only see their lips moving, but I couldn't hear what they were saying. I stood there for a long time before my hearing slowly returned. But the whispers and murmurs around me were grating on my nerves. I got up and started walking out, faster and faster, until I was practically fleeing the scene. Charles chased after me, grabbing my arm. Louis, it was an almost instinctive reaction. Before I knew it, a red handprint was on Charles's face. He just stood there, not moving. I went to see them. I personally deleted their chat history. Someone lost their phone yesterday, and the deleted records were recovered.
Louis, I'm sorry.
I realized that when you truly hate someone, you can't even bring yourself to say a single hateful word to them. I turned to get in my car. Charles clung to the car door. Louis, can we please talk? I've already had people handle the video. The people on the street probably didn't recognize me, but when they looked at me, I felt like they had seen the video, that they were laughing at me. Talk about what? Didn't you already win your $10 million bet, mister? Why are you still bothering me? I let out a sudden laugh. Charles, my reputation is ruined. Aren't you satisfied yet? Seeing me about to start the car, he panicked and ran around to the front. I'm begging you, Louis, just give me some time. I'll fix this. I've never been a saint in my life, but I can honestly say I've never done anything truly bad. Why did I have to go through all this? Why? The moment I stomped on the gas, I genuinely wanted Charles to die. But in the end, he still managed to get out of the way. I practically watched as the trending topics and those videos of me were swiftly scrubbed from the internet. Overnight, all the negative search terms about me vanished. The internet was in an uproar. Most people were gossiping and cursing me out. The few fans who spoke up for me were quickly drowned out by a sea of negative comments. I couldn't bear to look anymore. I turned off my phone and hid at home like a coward, afraid to go out. Both Charles and Justin came to my place, but I didn't see either of them. One day they showed up at the same time and got into a fight right outside my door, but I didn't care. That night, while smoking on the balcony, I saw Charles's figure below. He was leaning against his car, looking up in the direction of my apartment. I looked away, put out the cigarette, and went inside, drawing the curtains shut. It was 3 months before I dared to turn my phone back on. Among the pile of messages, I saw a video from Justin. I managed a weak smile. In the video, my sister Lily was wearing devil horns and making a face at the camera. Brother, when are you coming to see me? I miss you so much. I was so selfish, only thinking about myself. I'd even forgotten my sister. I pulled myself together, put on a mask, and left through the back exit of my building, taking a cab to the hospital. Lily was already asleep. Justin, who was sitting by her bedside, heard the door open and immediately turned to me. Louis, his eyes were red, and his voice cracked with emotion when he said my name. You're finally here. He strode over and hugged me. Lily and I both missed you so much. I stood stiffly in his embrace, pushing him away awkwardly after a moment. Have you had dinner? Justin shook his head. At this hour, the only places still open outside the hospital were the street food stalls. Justin wasn't picky and found a spot to sit right away. The evening breeze still carried a hint of heat, but the ice-cold beer made everything feel better. Justin wasn't a big talker, and I was a man of few words myself. We mostly ate and drank in silence, one glass after another without stopping. When my head started to feel heavy, I rested it on the table. I hadn't slept well for months, and now, as soon as I closed my eyes, I felt an overwhelming wave of drowsiness. Louis? I didn't want to answer. Justin called my name again. Just as I was about to open my eyes and respond, I felt a warm touch on my forehead. Justin's voice was a soft whisper in my ear. Louis, no matter what, you'll always be a dazzling star in my eyes. My heart skipped a beat. I didn't dare move or open my eyes. I woke up in the middle of the night. Justin was sitting across from me. Louis, you're awake. I remembered what happened before I fell asleep and awkwardly avoided his gaze, just nodding. Let me take you home then. As we got close to my building, I suddenly wondered if Charles was still there. Seeing me stop, Justin asked, Louis, what's wrong? I shook my head, but just a few steps later, I saw Charles, his expression grim, looking right at me and Justin. I looked away, pretending not to see him, and kept walking. As he passed me, Charles asked in a hoarse voice, "Where were you?" I didn't stop, just kept moving forward. Charles grabbed my wrist. "I've been waiting downstairs for you for 3 months. And you? The moment you come out, you go drinking with another man?" I turned my head, gave him a cold look, and said flatly, "Let go." Even though I hadn't said or done much, Charles's expression looked as if I had stabbed him. He let go, his tone softening. "Louis, please don't treat me like this." I ignored him and walked away. Justin walked me upstairs. After saying goodbye, he suddenly staggered and almost fell. I steadied him. "Are you okay?" He draped an arm over my shoulder and nodded. "I'm not okay. Louis, I think I'm drunk. Can I stay here for the night?" He had drunk a lot tonight. Even if it was just because he had been taking care of Lily for me all this time, I couldn't just kick him out. After setting him up in the guest room, I went to my room to wash up and get ready for bed. Just as I turned off the light, there was a loud knock on the door, especially jarring in the middle of the night. It was Charles. "What are you two doing? Why did you turn off the lights?" I couldn't be bothered to argue with him and just shut the door. Charles wouldn't give up, pounding on the door from outside. "If you disturb the peace again, I'm calling the cops." I warned him in a low voice, but Charles looked like he was about to cry. His eyes were red as he tried to get into the apartment, but I blocked him. "What the hell do you want? Louis, don't let him stay in your house. I'm begging you." I froze. Charles had this innate pride. I had never seen him beg like this before. "I was wrong, I was really wrong, Louis. Please make him leave. Okay?" His tone was humble, almost pleading. "Louis, who is it?" Justin walked out, drying his hair with a towel, wearing nothing but a bathrobe I'd given him. Seeing Charles at the door, he raised an eyebrow and smiled. "Well, if it isn't Mr. T." I had a feeling Justin's attitude was meant to provoke Charles. It seemed like from the very beginning at the bar, he had been intentionally provoking him. Afraid of causing a huge scene, I told Justin to go back to his room. Once he was gone, I turned to Charles at the door. "He's just sleeping in the guest room. But if you knock on my door again, I really won't mind if something does happen between us." With that, I slammed the door shut. The threat worked. Charles didn't bother me again after that. Even though that video had been deleted and was hard to find online, it was still a devastating blow to my career. After talking with my agent, Jess, about leaving the industry, I ran into Charles again on my way out. I didn't believe it was a coincidence. "Are you following me? Charles, can you just leave me alone? Right now, the sight of you makes me sick to my stomach." Charles stared at me, his words practically ground out between his teeth. "So who doesn't make you sick? Justin? You think he's getting close to you for no reason? I've known him for a year. He just wants to steal you from me." After he said that, he must have noticed my expression change because he softened his tone. "Louis, don't believe him. Justin is a lunatic." I scoffed. "So who should I believe? You, Charles?" I made lunch at home and brought it to the hospital. Justin was there too. I couldn't help but think about what Charles had said, and it left a strange feeling in my stomach. After he got Lily to sleep, we went for a walk downstairs. I suddenly stopped. Justin stopped too. "Louis, what's wrong?" He was, without a doubt, a top-tier celebrity. His looks and build were the best in the business, yet someone like him was willing to put his career on hold to be by my side every day. Every time I asked him about it, he'd just say, "My arm's injured. I'm recovering." I stared at the bandage on his arm for a moment, then stepped forward and unwrapped it. 3 months had passed. There wasn't even a scar on his arm. The afternoon sun was a bit blinding. I squinted and smiled. "Looks like the wound is all healed, doesn't it? Louis," I sighed softly. "You know, I was badly deceived before, so I'm terrified of being lied to again." Justin's voice was urgent. "Louis, I never meant to lie to you. I just wanted to find a reason to stay by your side." He pushed back his slightly long hair to show me a scar behind his ear. "Louis, do you really not recognize me?" "It's me." Justin could see I didn't remember. His expression fell, but he quickly forced a smile, though it was a bit bitter. "It's okay. It's okay if you forgot. I can help you remember." He led me to a bench. I hadn't been adopted yet. The first time you saw me was at the orphanage. Justin told me he was also from the orphanage. He had lived there for as long as he could remember, but the other kids always bullied him. You were the only one who wasn't mean to me back then. When they beat me up, you were the only one who would put medicine on my wounds. He showed me the ugly scar behind his ear again. Do you remember this? It bled so much that time. You couldn't find any medicine and started crying. I remember thinking, it doesn't hurt you, so why are you crying? Something suddenly clicked in my memory. Later, he was adopted by a very wealthy couple because of his good looks, and I lost contact with him after that. When I came back to the country a year ago, you were already a famous actor. But when I stood in front of you, you didn't recognize me. And then you got together with someone like Charles. He hung his head like a dejected puppy. So you started stealing his business deals?
Yeah.
Justin nodded. Every time he did something to wrong you, I'd snatch a deal from him. I looked at a withered yellow leaf on the ground and gave a bitter smile. You must have snatched a lot of deals from him, then. Justin stood up to hug me, but I dodged him. He froze for a moment, then dropped his hands and squatted in front of me. Louis, I know I'm not a good person either. If he had always treated you well, I would never have let myself appear before you. But he made you sad. A gust of wind rustled the leaves. Through the sound, I heard the first part of what he was saying. Louis, I will never make you sad. Can you? I immediately stood up, cutting him off. Lily should be waking up soon. I need to go back. You should get back to your own things too. With that, I walked away quickly. This time, Justin didn't follow. Lily's condition has been good lately. After seeing the ocean on TV, she'd been begging to go to the beach. Brother, please take me. A child her age should be running freely outside, but her illness was like a chain, confining her to this white-walled building. I couldn't bear to refuse, so I agreed. Her condition was unstable, so getting approval for her to leave the hospital was a hassle. But when I saw her, barefoot, laughing as she looked back at me from the water's edge, I suddenly felt like the trip was completely worth it. I just didn't expect Justin to be there too. He greeted me as he usually did. Louis, what a coincidence. You and your sister are here too. I gave a cold smile. Yeah, quite the coincidence. Lily invited me. I couldn't possibly refuse. The turquoise sea, the blue sky, the sandy beach, everything was perfect. But the person next to me suddenly said something that ruined the mood. Louis, have you been avoiding me lately? I turned my head away. No, you knew what I was going to say that day, didn't you? When a wave crashed in, Lily jumped to avoid it but didn't make it. She was still knocked over onto the sand by the surf. I was the same. I wanted to escape certain things, but it seemed I couldn't get away. Justin was the wave that relentlessly pursued me. I only see you as a friend. If there are some things I didn't hear, things I don't know, then we can always stay friends. We were both adults. I was sure he understood. When the vacation ended and we returned to the hospital, the doctor said, "Your friend has been looking for you guys for the past few days." I was about to ask who when Charles burst into the room. He was furious, his eyes looking like he wanted to kill someone. Where did you go? Louis, where the hell did you go with Justin? He was coming for me. Seeing that the doctors and nurses couldn't stop him, Justin, who had been standing silently behind me, suddenly stepped forward and threw him to the ground. I'm in a really bad mood right now. If you don't want to die, get out. Charles wasn't the type to be threatened. Not only did he refuse to leave, but he also looked like he wanted to fight Justin. But I noticed his mental state was very unstable. Fearing something might happen, I held Justin back. Don't. I'll call his assistant to come get him. Let go. Charles, who had been thrown to the ground by Justin, suddenly roared. Louis, let go of him. You're not allowed to hold his hand. He was genuinely acting like a lunatic now. I ignored him and went to the balcony to make a call. I just didn't expect the people who came weren't his assistant, but his mother and fiancé. Charles still refused to leave. His mother had someone inject him with a sedative and then had him carried away. You're Louis? A voice said from behind me. I turned around. It was Charles's fiancé. Can we talk? I nodded and went downstairs with her. His fiancé was top tier in every way. Looks, figure, and conversation skills among all the women I'd ever met. "I already know about what happened between you and Charles," she said with a smile, as if she were talking about something trivial. I returned a polite smile. "It's all in the past." She shook her head. "Charles probably doesn't even realize that he's always been genuinely in love with you. He's been so spoiled by everyone around him that he can't even figure out something as simple as love." Seeing my confused expression, she added, "You don't have to look at me like that. I've already asked my family to cancel the engagement.
I'm Sarah.
My family's status and my looks are top-notch in our circle. I can have any man I want. Why would I cling to someone who doesn't love me? If you still have feelings for him, you two should talk things out." When I got back to the room, Lily was asleep. Justin pulled me out onto the balcony. "Louis, why didn't you let me hit him just now? Do you still have feelings for him?" I sighed in frustration, not understanding why everyone thought I was still in love with Charles. Don't get the wrong idea. I just didn't want him dying on my watch. It'd be bad luck. On my way home from grocery shopping, I was suddenly blocked by a group of men. They looked hostile. I was about to run when I turned and saw a few more standing behind me. Just as I was about to try and talk to them, someone from behind pressed a cloth over my mouth and nose. When I opened my eyes again, I was on a bed. Recognizing my surroundings, my heart sank. I had been here before. The door opened from the outside. "Louis, you're awake? Get up and eat something. I made it myself. Didn't you used to love my cooking?" He reached out to help me up, but I slapped his hand away. "Kidnapping me? Charles, are you insane?" I got up and tried to leave, but I found that every door in this suburban villa was locked. "Open the door. I want to go home." Charles walked down the stairs unhurriedly. "If I let you go, I'll lose you. Louis, do you have any idea what I went through those days you were gone with Justin? I saw you when I opened my eyes and when I closed them. I was terrified you'd run off with him. That's when I thought if I ever found you, I would have to lock you up. That way you could stay by my side forever, and I wouldn't have to live in constant fear. Fear that you'd run away, that you'd hold his hand, kiss him, and do all the things we did together. Louis, please stay here. Okay? We can start over. I've already broken off my engagement. We can even get married." He approached me step by step, cupping my face and kissing me reverently. I tried to resist, but the drugs probably hadn't worn off yet. I was weak and no match for him. When Charles forced a kiss on me, I bit down on his lower lip with all my strength and didn't let go. Even when I tasted blood, he didn't pull away, still lost in his own twisted fantasy. During my days in the villa, I tried every possible way to escape. Charles noticed, so he confined me to the room on the 3rd floor. I don't know if it was something in the food he gave me, but I constantly felt drowsy and weak. So I stopped eating anything he prepared. When I felt a bit stronger, at least strong enough to get out of bed, I swung a chair from the room and shattered the window. By the time Charles rushed in, I had already climbed over the railing. "Don't jump. Louis, don't move. Come back and I'll let you go." He stood frozen, his fingertips trembling with fear. I had never seen Charles cry, but now he was on his knees, begging me not to jump. "Louis, we shouldn't have ended up like this. Please just come back inside. I'll let you go, trust me." But I could never trust Charles again. I would rather die than stay in the same house with him, being subjected to his abuse. The moment I jumped, Charles screamed and rushed forward. "Do you hate me this much now?" Luckily, I managed to grab a tree branch below. I only broke my leg, I didn't die. I endured the excruciating pain, got up, and dragged my injured leg as I ran. Behind me, Charles's hysterical screams echoed. "Louis!" I didn't care. I just wanted to get away as fast as I could. When I heard the heavy thud of something falling, my heart lurched, but I still didn't look back. The first thing I did after escaping was call the police. The police told me that after I fled, Charles had jumped too. He had no will to live. He really jumped with the intention of dying. I paused for a moment. Whether he lives or dies has nothing to do with me. He illegally kidnapped and imprisoned me. I need him to be punished. The police officer nodded in understanding. The person who came to see me about a settlement was Charles's mother. He's still in the ICU right now. Louis, for old time's sake, can you please let him off this one time? Ma'am, if I let him go, will he let me go? His mother pushed a card across the table to me. This is $10 million. As long as you're willing to let Charles go, I promise he will never bother you again. $10 million. I thought about how all of this started, that $10 million bet about me. So in the end, who really won? Charles? I don't think so. Did you agree to the settlement? Justin asked me. I shook my head while packing my things. Justin let out a sigh of relief. Good, as long as you didn't agree. Louis, you just wait. I won't let Charles get away with this. I focused on organizing the things I needed to take with me and ignored him. The doctor recommended that I take Lily abroad for treatment, which fit perfectly with my own plans to develop my career overseas. Justin wanted to invest, but I refused. The risk is too high, you shouldn't get involved. If I go bankrupt, at least you'll still have money to lend me for food. But thankfully, 5 years later, my company successfully went public. Lily's been going through a rebellious phase lately and doesn't want to stay at the hospital with her caregiver. Brother, can you pick me up and let me stay home for a few days? When I went to get her, Justin was there too. Louis, Lily says I've gotten fat lately. Come feel, is it true? I laughed and pushed him away. When we got home, there was an envelope left at the door. I was holding Lily, so I had to ask Justin to pick it up and see what it was. Inside the envelope was a black card and a piece of paper. On the paper, written in simple Chinese, were 3 words. I am sorry. I recognized Charles's handwriting. Throw it away, Justin said, guessing it was from him too. I smiled and shook my head. You're so rich, Justin. Just throwing things away. Hearing that, he instantly wilted like a deflated balloon. Then what should we do with it? Keep it? I glanced at the black card. Find an orphanage and donate it. This is what he owes me. The sudden appearance of the envelope didn't affect me at all. But someone else started losing sleep over it. Justin came to find me 2 days later. Louis, can you really not make it official with me? He had even worn a formal suit and had his hair done for the occasion. It was rare to see Justin so serious. I told him just as seriously, I don't plan on considering a relationship for the rest of my life. I just want to watch Lily grow up and earn enough money for her to spend endlessly. So don't waste your time on me. Later, when Lily's condition improved, I took her to Iceland to see the northern lights. Just the 2 of us. Lily looked up at the sky and suddenly said to me, Brother, I've stopped praying for Mom to come back.